Much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute on this motion, because I, being a member of Starehe constituency, which is in Nairobi County, I feel the issue about GMO directly affects us because, as you know, Nairobi don't do farming, but we consume the highest amount of foods that come into this country. We dependent on the up-country food basins that supply us with food. But now with the introduction of GMO, I think we are the people who stand to suffer the most. Because currently we have a food shortage in Nairobi as a whole, and in Starehe, in the slum-dwelling areas. And these people are people who depend on food. They just eat anything because some of them cannot even afford a meal a day. So when faced with a challenge where they are provided with cheaper food, either it's poisonous or its safety standards are not up to where they're supposed to be, these people will willingly consume this food because they don't have an option. Like a one-time minister said, it will be like raping a woman who is too willing. I say I highly object this, because if you are to give us an option of this cheap GMO food, we'll be forced to consume it because of the scarcity we have. And we are going to be the most affected. And currently we are suffering lifestyle diseases. Because in Nairobi, you understand, even the health systems regimes where people get time to exercise, people can do some farming, do some exercises in the village. In Nairobi, life is so constricted. We're living in a hand-to-mouth economy where you only get time to work for what you eat. And you only get time, you're ever working from 8 to 5 on a daily, and others even do more hours. So even our lifestyles are not that good. And given that we are going to introduce GMO to these people, I can only imagine the devastating effect it will have on the populace of Nairobians. As you can see, already there are people struggling with these lifestyle diseases. The issue of cancer has been very emotive in Nairobi. We are losing people by the day. And even the thought of imagining, of introducing GMO, which is associated with cancers, it is so sickening to the ear. Because like for the last 1 week, I've lost 2 patients to cancer. People who lost their lives in a way that is very painful. So when you mention introducing a food that is associated with enhancing cancer, I don't think it sounds too well in the society. I think on the issue of importing maize, that is GMO maize, I think that's the most retrogressive idea we'd have as a country. We have swathes of land where people can do irrigation and plant maize which can sustain this country. We had a project that was called Galana Kulalu, where Israeli scientists had proposed that if we were to grow maize in that area, we would be able to sustain our country in terms of food production. I don't know where those progressive ideas have gone to. I don't understand why this government came into power on the promise of subsidizing production. And if the true spirit of subsidizing production was put into reality, we'd have such projects being reinvigorated as of now, so that we can be able to face this issue of food shortage. To imagine that we are supposed to be importing the staple food in our country, and we are talking about going the manufacturing way, we really have our priorities all wrong. I think before we go to manufacturing, we should be able to sustain ourselves in matters of food production and food security in this country before we even think of going to the other level of manufacturing in this country. I stand to support the motion by Mr. Kirwa to safeguard our farmers, and I stand to support the motion against GMOs in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
MP for West Mugirango, the Honorable Stephen Mwago.